I'm sorry, USC fans. Lincoln Riley announced that Alex Grinch will not be moving on from USC, that he will be sticking around at least for another season. And we got to talk about it and talk about kind of the defense that he put up at USC this year and kind of my thoughts on it, because Oklahoma fans, feel your pain, USC fans. We really do. So go ahead, jump down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think about Lincoln Riley wanting to retain Alex Grinch. So I want to start off by saying this, USC fans. I get it. I know because you can obviously tell I'm a fan of Oklahoma. Our defense was not very good at all, right? So I'm not here to bash you guys. I'm here to simply talk about the facts and talk about why I feel bad for you and how Lincoln Riley is retaining Alex Grinch, but also maybe how Alex Grinch hasn't really been given a fair hand. So USC's defense this year was absolutely atrocious. Looking at the statistics and where USC's defensive stats ran, let's just run through them real quick. Yards per game. You guys gave up 415 yards a game. That's 103rd worst in all of college football. Now, I want you to know there are currently, at this moment, 130 teams. So there are only 17 teams worse than you. I believe one of them was Oklahoma. So, but again, we're not here to talk about Oklahoma. We're here to talk about USC. 103 passing yards a game. You guys allowed 266.5, allowing at 113th ranked, which shocked me a little bit because when you look at the interceptions that USC had, they were ranked number 3 this year in interceptions at 19. Yet they gave up a lot of that one I don't really understand, other than I don't think you guys rushed the passer very well, and we'll look at that here in a minute. Rushing yards a game, you guys were ranked number 64, which was leaps and bounds better than Oklahoma, at 148.6 yards a game. You guys were ranked number 53 at 27.9 points per game. So I would say average there, because you're not at that bottom tier yet. And then sacks, you guys are ranked 16th in the country at 36 total sacks for the season. Tackles for loss, you guys are ranked number 34 with 67 tackles for loss. And then you had on the fumbles, you're ranked number 22 at 16 fumbles. So total, you had 29 total turnovers this year, which is what Alex Grinch prides himself on, right? He prides himself on turnovers and how turnovers equate to winning games. But obviously that's not true, because USC was looking mighty fine all season, and then y'all go and lose to Utah in the conference championship game, and then lose to Tulane in the bowl game. Now, this is what Lincoln Riley teams are, guys. Okay, this is I just want USC fans to fully understand this, and this is why I feel bad for you guys, because I get it, right? You guys have been down in the dumps for so long that you guys thought, oh my gosh, Lincoln Riley's coming here, it's going to be a change. This is what Lincoln Riley is. He is not a coach that is going to go out there and prioritize the defense like he should. My philosophy is when you're hiring for a head coaching position, you should hire a defensive-minded head coach first and then go and hire an offensive coordinator, because you can always find an offensive-minded guy that can put you in the top 10 or top 15 offense and be able to go win a national championship. I mean, look at Georgia. Georgia's offense is not world beaters for all that. Like, when I look at Georgia's offense, they're just good because they have that tight end package. But other than that, I've never really been impressed by Georgia's offense. It's not like an Alabama or an Ole Miss or an Oklahoma or now a USC offense, right? It's not that. And so I think when you go to build a championship-winning team, you got to start on the defensive side of the ball. And for Lincoln Riley to announce that Alex Grinch will be retaining his position as the defensive coordinator at USC, that's got to be disheartening for a lot of USC fans. But also at the same time, I don't think Alex Grinch has gotten his fair shake. And here is why. And hear me out on this. He was actually starting to make some improvements on the defense for Oklahoma. Now, we still weren't impressed. I'm going to be honest. We still were not impressed. But he was putting up, some good defensive recruits. And then you started to see slowly but surely some little change happening. Ultimately, the tackling was still bad. The problem is Alex Grinch had no choice but to follow Lincoln Riley out to USC and start over. Because if he would have stayed here, he'd been gone. So he follows Lincoln Riley out to USC and has to start over. Well, I get it, USC fans. You don't want to give him 3 years to figure it out. 3 or 4 years. But here's the thing. The reason why I think he looked so good at Ohio State, or at least better than he did at his past 2 stops, is because of the talent, right? He can go out there at USC or Ohio State, and they're recruiting 5 stars on the defensive side of the ball all day long. USC is getting maybe 1 5-star on the defensive side of the ball. And quite honestly, the past 2 5-stars you guys got, top 10 players, top 5 players in the country, Corey Foreman and Domani Jackson, there's been rumors that both of them might hit the portal because of playing time. Domani Jackson was a guy that has an NFL, he's been described as having an NFL body. He's ready to play. Yet, for some reason, he didn't see much playing time this year. And then Corey Foreman, a guy that was highly coveted across all of college football. Clemson wanted him. Alabama wanted him. Michigan wanted him. All these places. You guys can't seem to put him on the field and allow him to go do what he can do best and get to the quarterback. And so USC's defense could be seeing a major hit if you lose both of those guys. This is why I feel bad for USC, because they thought they were getting a championship-level coach, and ultimately they're getting a coach that doesn't really care about the defense. He cares about winning Heisman trophies and showing out a good offense. That's what he cares about. And ultimately, you can see it on the field. You can see what the performances that USC has had all year. If USC would have been able to put out a half-comparable defense this year, which is the same thing we said at Oklahoma for many years, USC could have won a national championship. Just like Oklahoma probably could have won a national championship for 2 or 3 years if they would have had a half-comparable defense. Not saying you got to go have a top 25 defense, but if you can have a top 50 defense, that might be just enough to back your offense. Because Lincoln Riley's offenses are so explosive, but the defenses are just so bad that this is the product that you get. This is what you get. A team like Tulane can come in there and bully you around. The speed D thing doesn't work, guys. We tried it at Oklahoma. It doesn't work. And so when USC fans are mad and they're calling for Alex Grinch's head, it's completely a fair narrative. Maybe Alex Grinch needs to go take a job somewhere else where the fan base will give him a little bit of time to develop a defense so that he can, ultimately prove that, hey, I can do this. So that's all I got, guys. I mean, USC fans, you guys, I would say, had a pretty good season. I would be encouraged by the season you guys had, winning 11 games. It's a big turnaround from what you guys have had previously. But it's also disappointing because, you go to the Cotton Bowl, you're playing Tulane, you think this is going to be a pretty easy win, and then you ultimately lose with a 14-point lead. Again, this is what a Lincoln Riley team is. And yes, like Oklahoma fans, we loved Lincoln Riley when he was here because the dude was fun, right? And Oklahoma fans, don't be jumping in the comments acting like he was not fun. It was fun, especially on the recruiting trail. But now, after he's left, we've came to realization that what you see is what you get with Lincoln. So maybe things will turn out better next year. Maybe the USC defense improves. I'm not sure exactly how it's going to improve that much. I mean, it's not like you guys have hit the portal super hard on the defensive side of the ball. So go ahead and let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Let's talk about it.